On the night of Saturday, June 6th, Giselle of aespa turned on her Instagram camera and did something that almost never happens in the meticulously controlled world of K-pop. She dropped the act. There was no makeup, no stage lighting, and no manager hovering in the background telling her what to say. From the very first second, the vibe was completely different. She looked into the lens and told the viewers, point blank, that the person they see on stage isn't real. She admitted that she is an incredibly private person and that her idol persona is just a facade she puts on for the job. She told the audience that she doesn't get many opportunities to be raw, and because she felt like it, she was there to answer questions honestly. It was a stark admission that immediately set this broadcast apart from the usual promotional content fans are used to. She clarified she wasn't drunk, just sincere, and opened the floor for questions, ready to be blunt. Almost immediately, the conversation turned to the intense scrutiny idols face regarding their bodies. When a viewer asked how she lost so much weight, Giselle didn't offer the standard "I exercise and diet" response that companies usually script. Instead, she exposed the reality of her physical health. She admitted to losing about 10 kilograms over the last few years, but the reason was concerning. She opened up about having ADHD, explaining that because of her condition, she often just doesn't feel hungry. She revealed that this lack of appetite has affected her energy levels significantly, and she is actively trying to gain weight. It was a moment that stripped away the glamour of the idol diet and showed the dangerous reality of maintaining a specific image while dealing with a health condition. She emphasized that people's bodies change as they age, and that the public obsession with her weight fluctuation was something she found baffling, noting that she sees everything written about her online. The discussion on health naturally evolved into a critique of the industry itself. When asked if she was healthy, Giselle's response was hesitant but telling. She said she tries hard to be, but followed it up with a heavy statement. It's hard for a K-pop star. She expanded on this by saying that health is wealth, using the analogy of how desperate people feel to be normal when they are sick with something like food poisoning. The implication was clear. Living the life of an idol constantly puts her in a position where her well-being is compromised. This wasn't just a complaint. It was an insight into the grueling schedules and pressures that make maintaining basic health a challenge for these artists. As the live stream continued, Giselle's filter seemed to disappear entirely. She addressed the critical comments directly, specifically targeting those who take the time to type out insults about her appearance. She told them she found it interesting that they cared enough to comment, essentially calling out the mentality of internet haters. But the most shocking moment came when a fan asked what she would change about the K-pop industry. Without missing a beat, Giselle answered, "Scams and inhumane treatment." She called the industry an inhumane society. This is a massive statement coming from an active member of a top group under SM Entertainment. She acknowledged that being this honest wasn't beneficial to her career, admitting she didn't know the repercussions, but she felt compelled to say it anyway. She was effectively blowing the whistle on the treatment of artists, confirming what many fans suspect, but rarely hear confirmed by the idols themselves. Giselle also took a moment to address her personal identity beyond the industry talk. She spoke about spirituality rather than religion, claiming she has had strong intuition her whole life. In a moment of support for the LGBTQ+ community, she read a comment from a fan who was gay and hadn't come out to their family. Giselle offered reassurance, telling the fan not to hate themselves and that they are loved, explicitly stating, "We love any kind of." This kind of unambiguous support is rare in the conservative landscape of Korean pop culture. She also spoke candidly about her ADHD, explaining that it affects the way she talks and thinks, and that she tries to keep her mental stuff under control, further humanizing the struggles she faces behind the scenes. Toward the end of the broadcast, Giselle touched on the psychological split she experiences as an idol. When asked if she has a split personality, she described having one real personality, and then the reputation and image that the public sees. She noted that this rare live stream was the first time in a long time she had shown a glimpse of her actual self. She debunked fan theories, like the drawing of an X on her hand, clarifying it had no spiritual meaning and was just a doodle. As she signed off, she reiterated that there is so much pretense in the industry, and that being single, she had nothing to hide. It was a fleeting, unscripted look behind the curtain, a moment where the product stopped selling and the person started talking. For 10 minutes, Giselle shattered the illusion, leaving fans with a much clearer, albeit harsher understanding of what it truly costs to be a K-pop star.